Good evening, everyone. My name is Chantay Berry, aka Shanteezy, on Twitter, Instagram, and simply, as I said, Chantay Berry. I am here with my after show recap of my Instagram weeknight show podcast called Chantay's Analysis. Hashtag, Chantay's Analysis. I am here with the numbers of COVID. I always talk about the numbers of COVID. So I have the numbers of COVID in front of me, and they're from the John Hopkins website. So that's my source. And for the states, it's the New York Times COVID map, which both sites for COVID is free. The John Hopkins website is public knowledge for everyone. And the New York Times COVID map is free to sign up only for COVID related purposes. So I'm going to read these numbers. In terms of COVID-19, as of Friday, August 14th, globally we are at 21,066,992 for 188 countries, including the United States of America. Our global deaths are at 762,997. Our cases here at home, which we account for a fourth of those cases, we are at 5,306,215. With our fatalities, which is our deaths, are sitting at 168,396. So we're at almost 70,000 deaths. 170,000. I cleared that up. Almost at 178,000 Americans dead. We're close to nearing 200,000 deaths. If not the end of this month, then the end of this summer. And as I said, we have no national strategy to combat this thing. But I'm going to read from other countries where they at. Normally, I do the whole thing on my live, but I'll just do the ones with the most cases and, of course, here at home. So Brazil is at 3,224,876, followed by India, 2,461,190, Russia, 910,776, South Africa, 579,140, Mexico, 505,701, and their death toll in Mexico is actually 55,908. And I meant to say Brazil's death toll is 105,490. Peru, 507,996. Colombia is at 433,805. And Chile, 382,111. So let me just go home to the States. And these numbers from the States come from the New York Times COVID map. So California, still the highest cases in the country, are at 608,759. Followed by Florida is at 563,277. Texas, 539,380. New York, which was the epicenter of this thing, which is also my home state, my birthplace. I'm a New York rapper all day, every day. 428,879. Georgia, 215,328. Illinois, 204,515. Arizona, 191,751. New Jersey, which was the second state that had the most cases, is now the eighth state with the highest cases, is at 188,433. North Carolina, 142,259. And Louisiana, 136,860. In our counties, which these county numbers are at the from the John Hopkins website, Los Angeles had 214,425. Miami-Dade County, 140,984. Maricopa, 27,268. Cook County, 113,788. Harris County, 89,425. Queens, which was the epicenter of all of this, Queens is not too far from where I live in New York, is at 68,246. And I was able to go to the CDC website and see the travel advisory and like why these other countries having upticks, just like the United States. So they divide it into levels 1, 2, and 3 on the CDC website, which is the Center of Disease and Control. Level 1 is practice usual precautions. Level 2, practice enhanced precautions when traveling. And level 3, travel, avoid non-essential travel in countries and states here in the United, here, wherever. That's our CDC guidelines, which that has not been said. And none of the press conferences of the White House Coronavirus Task Force or out of Donald Trump's mouth, which I'm not surprised. So here are the states with no travel advisories: British Virgin Islands, Dominica, Greenland, Taiwan, and there's a whole host of others that I did not list. But there are not as many, but there's a few states that have no travel advisory. The ones with the level 1 travel advisory, because it's not as much neither. New Zealand, which reported new cases went over 103 days. Thailand, Fiji Islands, and St. Bartholomew, I believe, and some other ones. Level 3 travel is all the countries that we know of. That includes countries in Europe such as France, Spain, Germany, Italy, UK, you name it. What's another one for travel advisory? Of course, here at home, we have the most cases on the globe. Canada, Mexico, Trinidad and Tobago, Jamaica, Panama, Dominican Republic, Haiti, South America, Australia, Asia, some countries in Asia. I think I said Africa. Yeah. It's like over 100, about 150 countries that has the level 3 travel advisory. And as I always mention on lives every night, we don't have a national strategy to combat COVID-19, especially this tone-ass death administration. Donald Trump's whole press conference was about his accomplishments and not how to combat COVID-19. He's praising how his administration invoked the Defense Protection Act, which he fully did not. How he has, I'm going to quote him in this because I wrote it down. And he said, I use the Defense Protection Act more comprehensively than any other president in history. We all know that's bull because I believe the last president to do that, I'm assuming, is FDR. And that was back in World War II days. And he was the president during World War II. Yeah. Well, all other hosts of ridiculous things, touting his executive order when he's asked about funding the post office. And keep in mind, CNN released a report today stating that the USPS will stop removing letter collection boxes in Western states off the streets. And they removed some here in New York, because I haven't seen none on the street. All because of this, Donald Trump said there's a lot of mail-in ballots that are dead people on there, all this bullshit that he's just saying out his mouth, basically trying to find another way to suppress the vote. Trying to scare the shit out of people like he did in 2016. He ain't scared my black ass. Because I know Donald Trump, the real Donald Trump. If you're a New Yorker or a Northern Jersey person, you know what kind of bullshit ass, scam artist that Donald Trump has always been. That the news never reported because they were so focused on his realism, which we all know is not realism, it's a con job. Let's be real, people. Donald Trump is a whole ass motherfucking con artist. I call his ass all names but Mr. President. The New York con artist, the Queen sewage rat, which is the latest one, the White House occupant, the White House resident, the bullshit ass scam artist, all the names. Sometimes his name is Donald Trump. But the one that sticks is the New York con artist and the Queen sewage rat. And like people are like, what is the Queen sewage rat? The Queen sewage rat is because he's from Queens, New York. His hometown with the most COVID cases that he still has not visited. People, come on. And his nose is like a rat, pointy as a rat. Maybe he has some whisker hairs because he looks like he got nose hairs. And I say the sewage because he's a bum at heart. As my father would say, he a bum at heart. But he is a bum at heart. Donald Trump is a bum-ass president. And that, I say it. I say it with a wholehearted conviction. And I meant it. Meant every goddamn word of it. Okay? So that's what we are. But enough of the Queen's sewage rat in chief. I also want to talk about the Biden and Harris administration and how they signed their papers today and how they had their COVID briefing the other day, which was very informative. People keep talking shit about Kamala Harris, how she's not for black people, she's not black, she's black. Once you're Jamaican, says she a dark-skinned or light-skinned Jamaican, your ass is black. I have a lot of friends that are West Indian, that are Haitian, that are Belizean, that are from Panama, that are Dominican, are black. Puerto Rican, black, dark-skinned like me. And have coily hair just like I do. And their asses is black. Kamala Harris looked more black than Indian. But she acknowledged her Indian heritage. When you are multicultural, because my grandmother on my paternal side is half white. You either want to define multicultural, define black, define Indian, or define white. Kamala Harris acknowledged she is biracial. She identifies as a biracial woman. But in the Loving case, because her parents' marriage was probably illegal, because the Loving case of 1967 made it very legal to be married to a person of different race, that she identifies as black. So who knows? And I'm not digging and not making assumptions, but I'm assuming that's what it is. And it's so fucking what? Who gives a fuck? The woman is the first black woman and the first Southeast Asian woman to run on a major party ticket. The first and won't be the last. So to all those folks who are salty and mad, and because you're mad about the record, I suggest you do your research before reading Laura Beslan's article, which you all know is a smear. Because if you watch a Democracy Now interview, which that's one of my hashtags, which I'm about to get into, Nikki Solis, or Solis, I keep messing up her last name, who was a public defender around the time, who is now the deputy public defender of San Francisco, when Kamala Harris was the DA of San Francisco. They battled a lot on a lot of issues. But when she brought issues to Kamala Harris, even though they battled, Kamala Harris did something about it, and she acknowledged that. And that's what the part that got Nikki mad with Laura Beslan's article. So Laura Beslan got into the whole, Jamal True Love case and everything, which she did not prosecute him, because I keep learning that every day, because fully explaining that, I have to read and read and read, and I can fully articulate that argument. But we all know what Laura Beslan said out of her mouth was not true. So, and particularly when I paid attention to the whole death penalty thing, Nikki said, let's set the record straight. Kamala Harris opposed the death penalty. Her predecessor, who's touted as this progressive prosecutor, was the last DA in San Francisco to prosecute a death penalty, who did not oppose the death penalty, which the last death penalty case, the last execution, happened under him. And it was back in 2001, according to the San Francisco Gates. And when he was asked about it, he said he couldn't stop because the judge ordered it. Yeah, okay. But she said she created a lot of programs, and which is true. And then when addressing the crime lab situation, she also created a commission on top of that. And so when Nikki said all of that, Laura Beslan could not say shit because she knew she lied. And instead of saying that I take everything back what I said in my article, she says she stands by her article, being stubborn and not correcting the stuff that she said. And because of that article particularly, it caused a smear. And I heard, and I'm thinking the smear actually came from her, but a smear came from a lady that was convicted of a sexual molestation crime, I believe. Started Kamala as a cop. But it's still, Laura Beslan should take ownership and responsibility. She could have spoken up and say, okay, let's not call Kamala a cop. But she went along with the bullshit. So I don't care about Laura Beslan's allyship. She can fuck herself, pretty much, because I can give a fuck. And people were like, oh, Chantay, you're a racist. I'm not racist. I just don't give a fuck about Laura Beslan because we don't need your allyship. And we don't need your allyship because for a whole year and a half, you let somebody's reputation get smeared because of your fucking lies in a op-ed. That was a hit piece. That was bullshit. No cited sources, just your opinions on cases that you felt like it wasn't quote unquote progressive enough. I'm literally fighting with people at churches saying like, no, that's wrong. Or people on my Facebook. I had to take a break from Facebook because of Laura Beslan's fucking bullshit ass article. Like, there's still constant research that I'm still doing on Kamala Harris. I'm not even going to lie. It's a lot. Because it's a lot. Because she has a 30-year tenure as in the criminal justice system, including 3 years in the Senate. So there's always constant research that I do. So I encourage everyone to please follow Black Women Views media, Black Women Views, media to get more insight on Kamala Harris's record and rest of the panel on Live with the K-Hive, because that right there is indication, and also her website as well. And also just doing your own Google research on articles that actually has cited sources. When you see opinion, pass it by. Nikki Solis is actually a prosecutor that actually worked with her. So you can actually read that. Someone who never worked with Kamala, who's just a law professor, skip that. Don't even be bothered. You need cited sources. Cited sources. That's the only way you will learn. But as I get to this last topic, speaking of another thing of Kamala. So I guess the Lily is part of the Washington Post. Nadia Brown, who is a professor studying women politics at Purdue University, was interviewed, and she was asked, who should Biden have chose? And she said Stacey Abrams was her personal favorite. She said and I'm gonna quote her. Where is that quote? God damn it. Where is it? Because I couldn't see it. Oh, it's on my paper. She said this. She has the grassroots mindset, door knocking on rural Georgia doors, and ... That has been a game changer. Stacey Abrams is not a progressive. Never was. I like Stacey Abrams. She was actually one of my favorite people emerging in 2018. If I was to have a second choice, it would have been Stacey Abrams. But my first choice, I'm saying this, I unequivocally supported Kamala Harris, and I still will support Kamala Harris to the depths of the soul and the blood of Jesus Christ and the man himself. But if I was to have a second choice, it would have been Stacey Abrams. But she lacks experience. So Kamala Harris was my first choice for president, and now she was my first choice for VP. Because I was going to give up all hopes for this primary. I was about to say, fuck this primary, and it could kiss my ass. But the fact is that she was being considered, I was like, there's hope. And I kept saying this, Kamala Harris is going to be the VP. Kamala Harris is going to be the VP. Kamala Harris is going to be the VP. And I was right about it. That morning was a tough morning because I read the Bible scripture. I had like a phone conference that I had to do. And after that, I felt better. Took a long, luxurious walk outside for like 2 hours. And next thing you know, Kamala Harris was the VP of pick for Joe Biden. Of course, I had to like break away from Facebook for a little bit after the announcement because everybody was just being negative and just not doing their fucking research. And I'm not going to reach out to like 80,000 people that just want to be reluctant and want to be fucking retarded. As much as I'm trying to convert, I've converted my cousins, but I'm not converting other folks like pastors who should fucking know better. But this whole Nadia Brown, back to Stacey Abrams, this whole Nadia Brown article, Nadia Brown should shut the fuck up, because if you would do actual research on Stacey Abrams, she's not a progressive. She's a moderate Democrat from Mississippi, who now resides in Georgia. As I end this tonight, I appreciate if you guys are watching, not watching, to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I mostly do just political stuff. Also talk a lot about COVID-19, which that's a public health crisis, an economic crisis. I am not an economic analyst, but I have a business background, and I also have a nonprofit background as well. So please subscribe to my YouTube channel if interested, or follow me on Twitter. I am Chantay. Until then, thank you so much and have a good night.